welcome. This is Game Smash once again, and I'm your host, William Liberty. And as always, I have my good buddy here.
Fawwaz, Muhammad Yusuf.
And today we're just gonna dive right into what we've been playing recently. So we'll start with you, Fawaz. What you been playing recently?
I have been playing the two games I've been playing a lot. Hearthstone.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely love that game. It's free to play, but I've put an embarrassing amount of money into that game. So let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And Skyrim, I actually bought Skyrim because I never finished it on my Xbox 360, and then my 360 crashed. So I bought it again on PS3, and I've been loving it. I'm about 70 hours in.
Yeah. Well, Skyrim's an awesome game, like, just overall. Like, it's, especially, if you get the Legendary Edition that comes with all the DLC.
Oh, yeah, that's what I got.
Oh, yeah, and then you're set, really.
Yeah, what about you?
Well, I've been playing a couple different things. I actually bought, Tales of the Borderlands, it was pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised with it, because it's a lot different in regards to tone to the other, like Wolf Among Us, Walking Dead, they're more serious. Whereas this one was a little bit more, kind of, funny and more comedic. And, but man, they gotta fix that engine problem, because I swear to God, the frame rate just dies.
Really?
Well, because what happens is that whenever the game is trying to save a decision that you've made, I find that sometimes, or at least for the PS3 version, the game just chugs. Like, it really, really chugs. And I've noticed this throughout all of the Telltale games I've played on the PS3. And I just, it's like, can you please just fix that? Like, please?
Yeah.
But I was having fun with it. And then the other old game that I just got into and I've been getting hugely addicted to are the Personas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dear God. I've been playing a lot of Persona.
Which one?
I beat 3, the special edition, and I'm about halfway through 4, and I am just loving them.
Yeah, I love 4. I've had it on my Vita. It was one of the first games I bought on my Vita.
Yeah. I was surprised too, because it's like I didn't know if you would have known about Persona, because I know you don't, not the hugest fan of anime stuff, but
I'm really not.
but I was surprised. I'm surprised you know about Persona, but
Oh yeah, because when I got the Vita, I didn't have anything to play, so I was doing research and I was looking through like the top recommended games, and Persona 4 Golden was literally on the top of every single list. Number 1 game, best game on the Vita, best game on the Vita. And I liked Final Fantasy X. I like some JRPGs. So I was like, I'll give this a shot. It started off really slow. Like,
you're literally just going to school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It took me a week to get through like the first 3 hours of the game. Monday to Saturday, it took me to get through the first 3 hours of the game. And on Sunday, once I broke through, I think I played for like 10 hours on Sunday alone. So
Yeah.
Like,
it's quite a time sink, and but what I like about it is that it reminds me of I guess Harry Potter in a weird way, where it's like you're spending time with the characters through a school year. You know what I mean? Where it's like it's sort of like you that's how you sort of grow attached to them, because you're spending a decent amount of time with them, just living their lives. And I feel like that's something that I haven't seen as often in games, or at least the games that I've played as far.
I agree with you. Because you're hanging out with these characters. And another thing that I really loved about the game was that the characters felt like characters. One issue a lot of video games have, in my opinion, is that the characters are just cliches.
Yeah. You either got the military brute, or you've got just the romantic lead that's just there, or something like that. Like, you have those kind of problems.
But no, all the characters in this game, they all had their own internal struggles, and even like seemingly irrelevant characters. Like I don't know if you've met the nurse yet that keeps trying to have sex with
Yeah,
you.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's I was playing that and my sister walked by and it's like, what are you playing again? I was just like, oh, it's a video game, I swear.
Yeah, and another
uh,
thing that I love about the game is that one of the issues the Fable series has always had is that there's all these things you can do, but there's no reason to do them.
yes.
Sure, I can go out and get married and have kids, but what effect does that actually have on the game? It has
Yeah.
no actual effect. Sure, there was this one side quest in Fable 2 where your kid got kidnapped, but that was about the extent of it.
Yeah.
But in
Well,
Persona, progressing the social links,
yes.
it unlocks new personas, it unlocks new abilities for your teammates. It's on one hand you do it because you like this story and you like to get to know these
Yeah,
characters,
yeah.
but then on the other hand you're like, you know what, this stuff has like quantifiable benefits. So
Mhm.
yeah, let's not start with Persona, or we'll talk about it this entire show. So let's
Yeah, but needless to say, I've been jumping into Persona, and I'm having a blast. So yeah. So the other thing that's happened recently, the VGAs, the Game Awards. So that happened.
it
Would
was
you? I'm interested to ask you, Fawwaz, do you think the VGAs were better this year than last year?
Well, I mean, yes, they are for sure. But in the immortal words of Captain Price, it's not
Yeah.
hard to improve on garbage.
Yeah.
Last year's show was so bad
Oh
that
God.
this year was definitely going to be better. But just this is this is still not. Okay, this is the funny thing. I think the actual show, this is the best VG, like as an award show. This is the
Yeah.
best it has ever been.
Mhm.
They had a lot of stuff that award shows would have, but then it was more like video game stuff, like that lady that had the violin performance of the
Yeah.
Dragon
Yeah.
Age
Yeah.
Inquisition theme. That was really nice, and
It felt a little bit more cleaner than
yes, yes.
some
So
of
I
the
think
other times that they've done it.
yes, I think they've got themselves a really good foundation now. Now they just got to work on the reveals, because I mean the
Yeah.
reveals were better this year than last year, but they still weren't very good. There was no. I mean, people like it's been so long that people forget that Skyrim got announced at the VGAs, Uncharted 2 got announced at the
Yeah.
VGAs. We saw the first God of War 3 gameplay at the VGAs. Uncharted 3 got announced at the VGAs.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
either The Last of Us got announced there, or The Last of Us got its first gameplay there.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was one of the VGAs that Last of Us got announced,
Yeah,
or not, or at least a trailer. Yeah.
there've been some big announcements at the VGAs, but then these past couple years it's been pretty mediocre. And this year was a little better.
Yeah.
The Metal Gear Online trailer was nice.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to talk about that. That actually looked really good, and cause I actually remember playing a lot of Metal Gear Online, at least like when I first got a PS3, and I really liked it. So I'm really hoping that they can bring back all the tactical stuff that they had in that version as well. But yeah, I was actually pretty impressed with the trailer overall.
Yeah, yeah, same here, same here. What else? The Bloodborne. See, like Bloodborne. The funny
Yeah,
thing about Bloodborne is that they're showing so much of it, and at this point, I'm already like, see, I'm already sold, so I don't need to see anymore. I really don't
yeah.
need to see anymore. Like,
That
I
that that's
think,
that's the big fear with especially with From Software games that I have, where it's like you don't want to show too much. Like you don't want to show too many of the bosses, because it's
yeah,
more awesome to just, oh my god, I'm fighting a dragon whose half his body's a mouth or something like that. Like
yeah,
like you want to get to those moments, like you want to get to those moments on your own without having
uh-huh.
seen them. Because I had this problem with back in the day, Resident Evil 5. Like I saw so much footage of it that I pretty much saw every single big reveal before the game came out, like
Yeah.
almost every single one. So that's the only fear I'm having with Bloodborne, is that now it's getting a lot of gameplay trailers, and I'm like, you need to be a little more piecemeal, considering you're going to be out in like about a couple months.
But no,
So
I think it's gonna be good. Most of the gameplay trailers haven't, like, they've shown glimpses. They haven't shown anything specific.
mhm.
Like, for me, I'm just like, they don't need to show any more. I'm
Mhm.
already sold.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
what else did they show at the VGA?
I think they showed Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh
That
my
trailer.
god. Okay, first off, holy shit. Where the hell did this come from? Like
Remember?
I was almost certain that they were going to like just do a Nintendo Direct or something like that when they were going to show off new Zelda. I would if you would have told me that they were going to show it at the VGAs, I would have been like, yeah, right. But but man, oh my god, like the first thing like after like watching it, I was like this looks a bit like it feels the overall feels looks like Shadow. It looks like Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
And that's something that makes me so excited. Oh, and just overall it looks pretty dang good. But what's your thoughts on it so far?
Okay, like it's funny because I'm split. On one hand, like the game itself looks amazing,
Yes.
but I was like the presentation of the game was so awkward because first of all it was
Oh,
on
okay.
screen, right?
Yeah.
And I'm
I,
like, okay, you have this beautiful game, and then you're like, okay, let's do an off-screen presentation of this. Like,
it was weird. I'm
stop.
not gonna lie. It was
And but no, the game it looks good. I'm glad that they're innovating because
yeah.
I mean, Nintendo has a bad habit of getting stuck in its ways. Like
Yes, yes.
this has worked for 20 years, so it's gonna work for 20 more. But no, this new Zelda, it still feels like Zelda, but it looks nothing like the old Zeldas. Like
Yes.
it's like wide open spaces, like Shadow of the Colossus, and it's oh my god, it's
And I
I'm
think
so
the
going to
biggest
play.
thing is that it's such I feel like it's almost like they took feedback from what like the criticisms with Skyward Sword because I played Skyward Sword. And the biggest problem I had with Skyward Sword is that I didn't feel like I was in a really big world.
Yeah,
Like I felt like I had the sky and three other zones. And that was a really big problem because when you're playing a Zelda game, you're supposed to feel like you're in a really big area that you can explore. So
yeah,
the fact that immediately from the gameplay trailer or from what they shown that I'm getting this sense of a huge world and just
yeah.
these great vistas, like that shot of Link just standing on the cliffside staring at the sunset is just oh
That was beautiful.
that was great. That was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So no, like I said, I think the VGAs they did a very good. I think Jeff Keighley did a very good job this
Yes.
year.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, apparently the PlayStation event is gonna become an annual thing.
Oh.
So if it's gonna be same time every year, which I assume it is, December
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Then
kind of awkward then, because we're gonna have VGAs and then this big PlayStation event
yes,
thing.
and it
Yeah.
also means that they're probably not getting any more Sony world premieres at
Yeah.
the VGAs because Sony would like to save that stuff for their own
Yeah,
thing.
for
Which
their
is
own
really
event.
unfortunate for Jeff Keighley, but hey,
But yeah, so yeah, just tons of trailers. I didn't get to see it, but I think they announced Street Fighter 5 or something like that. I think.
yeah. That's yeah. It leaked. It leaked the day before. It was a real shame because that would have been a very good announcement at the
Yeah.
PlayStation. It was at the PlayStation event actually, which we're gonna be talking about next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back in my day, video game trailers didn't leak. We just got hyped when they came out. Like.
Yeah, like honestly, I'm actually really, really disappointed that it leaked because it would have been like I wouldn't have seen that coming.
Yes.
Your shit, whatever.
Yeah.
Ono was like that. He's going to the PlayStation event, and I was like, he's just gonna be there, being Ono, trolling people and taking pictures with his little Blanca. But no, like it would have been, and then and how I'm assuming how the presentation would have gone would have been that he would have come on stage, announced that Street Fighter 4 was coming to the PS4, and then we
Yes.
would have been like, okay, that's everything, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
bang,
Yeah.
Street Fighter 5. But unfortunately, it leaked, which really sucks because it would have been a big surprise. But
Yeah.
going off that, there's been a lot of talk about third-party exclusives of late.
Yes.
Everybody, getting their panties in a bunch
Oh
because
god. Yeah.
Tomb Raider
Oh
is.
god. Yeah. That was a debacle. Jesus with Tomb Raider. Oh.
Here's my problem with the whole thing, right? I'm
Yeah.
like, well, first of all, third-party exclusives are nothing new. I mean, the PlayStation. I mean, prior to the PS, people forget that prior to the PS3,
Yeah.
Sony's most of Sony's like 90% of Sony's big titles were third-party exclusives. Like, think about the
Yeah,
games that defined
yeah,
the PS1
they
and the
were like,
PS2.
especially when the PS3 just came out. Like a
Yeah.
lot of like there were a couple I could think. Like I guess when it came out, Metal Gear was a big deal, but overall, like the Microsoft did have a lot more exclusives.
Yeah, I haven't actually counted, so I'm not too sure. But
Yeah,
like
I
games
don't know
that
the number.
defined the PS1 and the PS2, Metal Gear Solid, Tomb Raider, Tekken, that's embarrassing. Final Fantasy, there we
Come
go.
on, Fawaz, you're supposed to know everything.
Yeah, see, Metal Gear Solid, Tomb Raider, Tekken, Final Fantasy, just off the top of my head.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. Those are the
like
big ones.
you think, yeah, you think of PlayStation, you think of those games. Okay, sure, there's also Gran Turismo, and there
Yeah.
was, Medieval and Crash Bandicoot,
Yeah, you just go
Spider.
on and on and on. Yeah.
But yeah, like a lot of their titles were third party exclusives. So I'm
Yeah.
like, this is nothing new. In fact, it was just last generation that third party exclusives started falling off. Presumably
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it
yeah,
cost
yeah,
so
yeah.
much to like games cost so much to make, and you can't just release it on one console. But
Right.
prior to last generation, this was a regular thing. Splinter Cell was an exclusive to the Xbox. Soul Calibur went
Mhm.
back and forth between exclusive to the PlayStation and not exclusive to the PlayStation. The only
Yeah.
company that
Yeah.
didn't have a lot of third-party exclusives was Nintendo. And even they had like Beautiful Joe, they had Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
They had Eternal
But
Darkness,
yeah.
so everyone had
Although I'm curious what you think, like now that okay, actually we should get into just the last couple of months have been just insane for video games because everybody launched their games in this time frame. Like it's nuts. Like Bayonetta 2, Smash Brothers, Destiny, and what are some other ones that just came out recently?
Ubisoft, so Far Cry 4,
Far Cry 4,
Assassin's Creed, of course.
Assassin's Creed, freaking
Actually came out last week.
yeah.
Yeah, there's been like a Dragon Age Inquisition. There's been like a new game every week. I mean, this is just how it is every year. It's Christmas.
Yeah,
Everybody wants to get their games
gets
out.
their game out before the Black
Yeah,
Friday
Call of
especially.
Duty. Yeah, but
Yeah.
the issue that a lot of games ran into this year was that a lot of games launched broken.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed being like the poster boy for everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because I was even like reading the newspaper on my way to work, and
Yeah.
and yeah, it was right there in the newspaper. They were talking about how the game was completely broken, how
Yeah.
texture, like not even the texture didn't load, like parts of the characters didn't load, and
Yeah,
like.
just terrible pop in. I was hearing all kinds of
Mhm.
horror stories.
But Ubisoft, they did an admirable job of recovering from that. First of all, they what did they do? They offered the DLC for free, like
Yeah.
first of all, right?
Immediately.
Then they were like, anyone who bought the season pass gets to download another Ubisoft game for free.
Yeah.
A choice between like Watch Dogs, Far Cry 4, The Crew, and like one other
Yeah.
game.
Far
So-
Cry 4. Basically that was the best option in my opinion.
Yeah, so I applaud them for that. I generally don't like Ubisoft. Them and
Yeah.
Activision are like the poster boys for everything wrong with gaming. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I applaud them for doing that because I mean
They could have done nothing. Like they
yeah,
could have
they
done
weren't
nothing.
the company that launched broken, but they were the only one that did something about it. So I give them props
Yeah.
for that.
Well,
I still
it's
go back
even
and-
it's even like, well, it's better than it. At least they did something right away. Like
Yeah.
Skyrim launched for the PS3, and we didn't get DLC till like a year and a half later. And it was like, what the hell, guys? Like, and they were like, well, we're gonna give you half off, and it's like, yeah, but it's half a year later. It was, but
yeah,
it,
no, for sure. I mean, what's this game? What game was it? I had it at the tip of my. I think Advanced Warfare launched broken.
Yeah.
And they didn't give anyone anything.
Yeah.
Of course, the big one was the Drive Club. That the online was completely unplayable for a while. I don't think the PlayStation Plus edition has been released yet.
Yeah.
And they're giving out the DLC for free as well, though. So at least developers are doing something.
At least they're doing something, and
Yeah,
it is kind of the biggest problem is that now it's more, the game developers are being like kind of like pushed into a situation where it's like you have to release the game like by this margin.
Christmas.
Yeah. And it's almost like now I get more excited for when a game gets delayed because it means that they're fixing problems that they wouldn't have fixed if they had just launched. So, like, yeah, I find that it's an interesting thing now. It's like now before I would have been, oh, I want this game to come out, stop delaying it, and now I'm just like, no, delay it, fix the game first, then launch it,
No,
cause
I'm with you 100%. Like when I
yeah,
heard that when I heard that Evolve got delayed, which is probably my most anticipated game. When I
mm-hmm.
heard that it got delayed, I was really disappointed.
Yeah,
But when I saw the all the issues with all these other games that were getting announced, then I was like, wow, I'm glad Evolve got delayed. So now that it gave me more faith that the game was going to launch proper because they delayed from Christmas to launch in February. So
yeah,
it gave me more faith that the game was going to launch complete.
yes,
So yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. Bloodborne got delayed as well from February to March, and I was like, honestly, delay as long as you
yeah.
want. Just give me a working game when I buy it.
Yeah, like, especially since From Software, it's like the gameplay is really really important for their games, so you
Mm-hmm.
cannot release a broken game. Like,
For me, gameplay is really important for every game,
well,
for
yeah,
every
no, yeah, I,
developer.
I I agree with that. Like, obviously, but it's like with a From Software game, like you have to have good gameplay. Like, it has to work because you are known for having really really good gameplay. And as soon as you get a bad rep for that, it's all downhill.
Okay,
So
yeah,
that's more what I mean by that.
okay.
Obviously, I want games with good gameplay. That would be good generally. But yeah, and but man, it's just, yeah, it's been a busy couple months. Like, it's kind of like a, I know, first world problems kind of thing, but I haven't had time to play all these games that I've been buying. Like, I bought Bayonetta 2 and I haven't even finished it. Like, because I was playing through Bayonetta 1 because I hadn't actually played Bayonetta 1
Oh
until,
yeah,
yeah. And then I've been trying to play Smash, and I find myself like I've been playing it less and less, just because I'm like, oh wait, I want to play like Hearthstone or League or something like that.
you
So
play
it's like,
Hearthstone?
yeah, I play Hearthstone.
Oh,
I don't play it as often as I used to. Because just going on to Hearthstone for a little bit, Hearthstone has a little problem where it's like, I find that at a certain point, you're gonna realize that the people that you're playing against, are going to have like more legendaries. Like, no matter what you do, they will have more legendaries unless you spend money. Like, you have to spend money if you want to have at least a little bit of a fighting chance.
you
Like, I
see,
find.
and this is a bit of a digression. I don't actually agree with that because the
Okay.
two most popular decks in Hearthstone are the Warlock Zoo deck and
Okay.
the Hunter aggro deck. Neither of which run any legendaries.
Yeah, but here's the problem I have with that. You just named two decks. So does that mean all I can use is two decks?
Well, no, but I mean, but there's a bunch of decks that don't have legendaries. The Shaman deck I ran for most. I mean, the only deck that really has a lot of legendaries is the Warrior Control deck, and
Okay,
that's
okay.
like the pay to win deck.
Okay, yeah, 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 yeah. I
But
know, I know. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, maybe I just had a string of really bad luck, and I just like, oh, this game, it sucks. But I don't know. Like, I talked to my friend because my friend, he started playing Hearthstone and he was enjoying it a lot, but he didn't want to spend any money on it. Like, not one penny. And he said he couldn't do the grinding because you kind of do have to, you
yeah.
have to play 3 matches and win to get at least a bit of gold, or you have to use specific decks to do quests and get gold. And in the end of the day, you can only really get about a pack a day, maybe two, if
Yeah,
you're doing it for free.
yeah,
And sometimes, like, you'll get nothing out of those 2 packs.
yeah. No,
So
I agree with you on that. Like
yeah,
the game has a lot of grinding, but it's a free to play game.
yeah, it's a free to game to play.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can kind of expect those kind of things. But I'm excited for the new expansion that they're I think, what was it, gnomes and goblins?
Yeah,
Yeah.
goblins versus gnomes.
Yeah. And
Yeah, yeah.
it looks pretty good. I was looking at some of the cards. Some of them look really ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
like
gonna be fun. It's
like
gonna
what
be
was that one? It gives you like Mega Wind Fury, which means it
Oh, yeah, but the
attacks
thing about
4
that,
times.
yeah, the thing about that card though is that that is not a card; it's a token. There's this
Oh,
other
okay.
card called Mimiron's Head,
Hmm.
and its ability, it's like a 5 mana card, and its ability is that if at the beginning of your next turn
Yep.
you have 3 mechs on the battlefield, sacrifice all of them and summon Voltron.
And yeah, basically Voltron. Yeah.
Yeah, but that requires you to have 3 mechs
Yeah.
live through your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
And like there's this saying I always have with my friend is that like it's a win more card because if you found yourself in that situation,
Yeah. It's a very hard to get to situation, but if you get to it, then you've basically got the game.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it reminds me of a card from Magic the Gathering called Emrakul, where it was like a 15 mana cost card, but as soon as you played it, your opponent was fucked. Like, no matter, because it was like nothing could kill it, like at that point of the game.
okay.
But speaking of Blizzard, another thing I wanted to ask you, Overwatch. That was announced a while back, but I was curious what you thought about it.
It looks like Team Fortress 2. First
Yeah,
of all.
that's pretty much what everyone's been saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like it. I like the. First of all, just to preface this,
Yeah.
because of how dark and gloomy most of last generation was.
Yeah.
Any
Oh.
video game, like
Yeah.
if you add color to your video game, I already love it right out.
Yeah. Right off the bat.
But no, it looks interesting. It's a very, I mean, Blizzard has never done a shooter before, so it'll be interesting to see how
They handle it. Yeah.
I'm hoping it comes to consoles, and it's an FPS, so I'm pretty sure it's going to come to. I mean, they brought Diablo to consoles. So
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to
It'll probably be a while, cause I don't know. Like cause I know I'm actually hoping that they keep it on PC, or at least. Because the thing is, like, I played Team Fortress 2 on the consoles, and it wasn't great, like, to say the least. But when I played it on the PC, I was like, okay, this is actually a lot better of an experience. So I do hope if they do bring it to consoles that it is a smooth transition.
Yeah, that they actually support it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But no, I liked it. I watched some gameplay. There was one issue I had was that there didn't seem to be a lot of force feedback. Like when you shot people, it didn't feel like you were
Yeah.
you couldn't tell. Like I was, at least me watching, I couldn't tell when people were getting hit.
Hit or not, yeah.
Yeah, and then watching the player character, I couldn't tell when that character was getting hit. So it just, of course I was just watching it. It might be different when you're actually playing it, but that was just one thing that I noticed. But it's a very I'm excited. It's Blizzard. Everything they make very top quality. They make very high quality games.
Well, it's funny because it's like they originally had like a different game in mind called like Project Titan or something like that.
I heard about that.
And they canceled it because they just said this isn't fun. So let's try again and make a game that's fun. So and I do like that because there are developers that will go, well, this is good enough, and then just go like just ship it. Let's just go. And I do like that at least they're taking their time to think about what direction their game needs to go, and just overall making good smart decisions as developers.
Yeah. No, I have a lot of respect for Blizzard. I have a lot of respect for Blizzard. I've never, because I'm not a big PC gamer. Yeah, I'm not a big PC gamer.
You don't say.
So I actually haven't played a lot of their games. I never played StarCraft. I played Warcraft 3. I haven't touched World of War. I hate MMOs. So I haven't touched
I've only really played one MMO. I played Guild Wars 2 for a while, and that was actually pretty good. But I had the same problem where like there's a point. Every time I get to level 30 in an MMO, I'm just like, I'm done. Like, I have no reason to play this game anymore. I've gotten my fill. Like, every single MMO I've played, I've gotten to that point, and I'm just like, I'm done. Like, I don't know. But I do agree with you. Like, MMOs are, like, I understand why people like them, and it is a very popular genre, but it's like, I'd rather be playing Persona.
But yeah, so, other than Warcraft 3 and, Diablo that I bought on consoles recently. I never really played a lot of their games until Hearthstone, which I've literally been playing it since April, every single month. it's
Yeah.
I'm glad they don't have it. You know how Persona has a time count. It tells you how many hours. I'm glad Hearthstone doesn't. It would. Oh, I'd
Yeah,
work.
that would be me in League because I play a lot of League, and it's just like, oh god, I could only imagine how much League I've played in the last couple of years.
Yeah, Blizzard has a league like Heroes of the Storm, I believe.
League?
No, Blizzard. They have a MOBA coming out called.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
And that, more power to them. It just depends because I know League came out and then Dota 2 came out, and there's people say like Dota 2's better, then people say Dota 2's worse, and I don't know. I like League, and it's kind of like if it's more like just pick one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing that worries me more is that it's just, if they release it, is it going to be too much like League, or is it going to be like completely different? So I don't know. It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah.
I would like if I could see more of which direction they're gonna take that game, then I could probably form a better opinion. Mm-hmm. But as of now, I'm just like, well, do it. Just make sure it's good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, not to sound like a Blizzard fanboy or anything, but every time they've taken, like, with all of their games, they did like a new take on an established genre, right?
Yeah.
Hearthstone was a take on collectible card games.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft was MMOs. And every single time they've brought enough new.
Yes.
To war, and the quality has always been good. So I'm pretty sure it'll be good. I don't know if I'll play it. I don't really do MOBAs, and I've put enough money into one free to play game.
Yeah, that's the biggest fear is that like I've played Hearthstone and I paid money for that. And then I played League, and I put money into that, and I'm just like, I don't really want to start playing any more free-to-play games at this point, because God knows how much actual money I'm going to be spending. Like, and that's always what I find is the biggest irony of these free-to-play games, is that they're pretty good, and then you want to spend money. And
so that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up here, and we'll have more opinions about the PlayStation event once it's when it's finished. I'm sure you'll have a lot of positive opinions.
Don't I always?
As you always do. I all these memories from what was it, last year when you were you were so mad at Kojima.
Oh, don't get me started.
But anyway, we'll leave that till next time. All right, so anyway, that was William Liberty, and as always, and we'll see you guys next time.